we will be able to defend the chance for reforming Russia. If not, someone will say enough.
The Vice President told us the government had so far reneged on agreements to include certain civic union proposals in an anti-crisis plan and was running out of time.
We have already had 6 congresses, 3 reform programs and 3 governments. And what has been the outcome? An anti-crisis program. You just can't work like that. We need urgently to re-establish a system of rule, regulation and planning in this transitional period. Without this, there will be no reforms.
Share prices on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange plunged more than 5% on Tuesday as a dispute between London and Beijing over the future of the British colony intensified. Hong Kong's governor, Chris Patten, has again defended his policy of introducing democratic reforms despite strong opposition from China. The colony will be handed over to China in 1997.
Mr. Patten is feeling the pressure, not only from Communist China, implacably hostile to his plans for democratic reform, but now from Hong Kong's parliament, anxious that the territory could be headed for economic turmoil.
He is the one who should provide the answers to try and reach some kind of communication with the Chinese. I mean, the present state of things just can't go on.
From the territory's legislators today, fears that Mr. Patten is pushing China too far.
Are you willing to sacrifice trust and understanding for your political reform package?
Mr. Patten's answer, blame Chinese intransigence.
I'm disappointed that the Chinese side have thus far been unwilling to accept my offer of discussions or to put forward their own ideas.
Even as Mr. Patten spoke, Hong Kong's stock market continued to plummet, 15% off share values in less than a month. Today's fall sparked by Beijing's pledge to scrap any business agreements and contracts it doesn't like when it takes over in 1997, a threat criticized by Mr. Patten.
I think the people of Hong Kong deserve better than to have any things said about their prospects which might undermine their prosperity and stability.
China's tactic is not only to undermine business confidence here, but also to damage the authority of the governor. As more local politicians turn against Mr. Patten and his proposals, it's a tactic that appears to be paying off. Mr. Patten left with a smile, but with Hong Kong's economy now under attack, he'll be hard-pushed to have his democratic reforms accepted here, let alone by the communist rulers in Beijing. Mark Austin, ITN, Hong Kong.
Reports from the Pentagon say US Marines will be off the coast of Somalia by Wednesday, prepared to seize a Somali airport and put troops ashore to protect food aid. The United Nations Security Council looks likely to decide later this week to give the go-ahead for a massive international force to break the grip of Somali warlords. America says it's ready to contribute between 15,000 and 20,000 servicemen. So far, the UN has only deployed about 600 Pakistani peacekeeping troops and 50 unarmed observers.
4 out of 5 sacks of grain sent to Somalia go not to the starving, but to the bandits and clan chiefs who run the country's civil war. 1,000 people a day die from starvation, a man-made tragedy of epic proportions. UN Secretary-General Boutros Ghali says there's no alternative to using military force in Somalia. First, to secure supplies of food, then to establish stability.
We've suggested that the UN could be in a position to help the Somali people reconstruct a civil administration in their country.
The USS Tripoli is on its way to the coast of Somalia. It could soon be at the head of a UN battle fleet similar to that which fought the Gulf War. The UN resolution would authorize a multinational force dominated by up to 20,000 American troops. There are at least 50,000 Somalis under arms, but they're poorly trained, ill-disciplined and lightly armed. The UN is counting on receiving little resistance, and with 2 million Somalis on the brink of starvation, has little time to lose. The Security Council could back the use of force this week, with troops in Somalia by Christmas.
We'll take a break now. I'll be back shortly with more ITN World News.